Hey everybody, it's John. This is the Chainwax podcast, episode 30, I believe. You know, in the world of chain lube, this is a video from 3 years ago. Here's the choices. Here's all the things that you could choose from back then, all requiring strippers and degreasers and crock pots and whatnot. Now, we've got somebody riding the coattails here of the Dark Energy. This just came out. This came on my feed, of course. And, well, we're going to go through this. First of all, I'm going to say this right now. I'll start with this. Dark Energy, Darkmatter. I've had mine out for 3 or 4 years now. 2022, I think, is when I came out with it. And, well, they say they've been working on it for 4 years. And they came up with the name Dark Energy 4 years later after I introduced mine to the world. That is a 1.8 ounce bottle for $18 on their website. And if you go per ounce, that's $10 an ounce. So a 4 ounce bottle, this would be $40. And you need a stripper. We're going to get into some details. It's time for Dark Energy versus Darkmatter. And here's our Darkmatter T-shirts for sale on eBay. They're like 16, 17 bucks. I'm making $1 on it just to cover the eBay costs. And there is our Darkmatter on the left there. Okay. So we came up with this in 2022, I believe it was. Might have, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2022. Time's just flying by. Lots of companies coming up with their dark products now. Here's one for $58 euro. And then they've got their degreasing additive for your chain for 30 euros. When our original line have solved all of these problems right off the get-go, over 10 years ago, I developed it and released it to market in 2019. They're all still riding my coattails, and this one is now just the latest one to ride the coattails of the success of our product as far as how well it works. Now, they've got a how to apply video, which I watched.
I'm going to introduce to you our Dark Energy Chainwax and Chainwax cleaner. I'll be showing you how to...
So you already have to buy the cleaner in addition
The Fox Float X. Set your drivetrain.
So you have to not only buy the $40, $10 an ounce Dark Energy product, but you have to buy their degreaser and get your bike all wet and all kinds of things.
If you want a drivetrain that runs clean, quiet and fast, then preparation is everything.
Here's where they require you to use a degreaser product, spray it all over the ground, all over your bike. We'll let them show you.
Energy to perform at its best, the chain needs to be completely clean before application.
Okay, so our process of doing the chain prep eliminates this messy step, which I'm going to let them show.
Whether you're starting with a heavily contaminated, any factory grease, whether you're waxing for the first time, shake the bottle before generously applying it over the entire drivetrain. You want to be sure.
Make sure you get it all over your back wheel, frame, cassette, everything, okay? Now, this is a degreaser, which, you know, if you're getting it on your cassette, you've got bearings just on the other side of the seal there that's right down by the axle. Got several sets of bearings inside your free hub. Getting your free hub wet with a hose is a bad idea. It's just not good for long-term longevity. And that's what they want. They want you to destroy your bike. It might look good on the outside, but you're doing internal damage, and it costs a lot of money to replace bearings.
Or to coat the entire chain rings, cassette, and pulley wheels in the rear derailleur. You can also agitate it with our chain cleaning brush to remove any excess. Heavily contaminated drivetrains, you can use the Chainwax cleaner. The internal brushes provide mechanical agitation whilst the formula slowly breaks down.
All right, so we just have the three-headed brush, which eliminates all of these gadgets that are expensive and waste a lot of material, and you have to buy. You don't even need degreaser.
Old oil and grime.
All right, so this stuff we were doing 30 years ago. I still had my first chain cleaning thing like this up until I moved, and it was so brittle and old, I just left it with all the other garbage from moving from the old house. But they're not doing anything innovative. I'm going to show you just how old these procedures are. Okay, I've got some other videos here to take some clips from. This part here, it's really bad for your bike. You've actually got bearings inside those jockey wheels. You know, just putting hoses on this stuff with degreaser, that's designed, the degreaser is designed to penetrate, so it's gonna get past those seals eventually. You know, it's just, we've eliminated this step completely, and it's so much faster and cleaner and safer for your bike.
For an even deeper clean, you can remove your chain completely from the bike and submerge it in the...
So he just admits there, if you really want to get it clean, you got to remove it. We've eliminated that step as well. So he's telling you to still maybe remove your chain just to do this drip wax now. See, they're going backwards.
Chainwax cleaner for several minutes. Want the ultimate deep clean? Then head to your local chain optimization center at your local IB.
Remove the chain and have somebody clean it in a sonic tank, or spend a bunch of money and buy your own. None of this is necessary using our products. None of it. Our chain prep formula shown here, okay, has eliminated everything you just saw. It costs $12 for this bottle. It'll last you probably the rest of your life if you just use it as chain prep formula, but you can use it around the house on locks and doors and hinges and sliding windows and anywhere you want to lubricate something that doesn't attract dust. I just did my pocket knife today for the second time in a long time. I did it when I first got it, and I just did it again about a year later. And now my Gerber flip knife just opens up so easily, no effort, can close it with one hand now and everything. So this bottle will last you a long time for $12. Multiple uses. Use it on the car if you got a squeaky door, a key lock that's getting sticky, your ignition lock for your car keys if you have an older car. You know, this stuff is amazing. It's not just a one-trick pony.
Chain optimization center at your local IBD and have your chain professionally cleaned in one of our ultrasonic tanks. Head to mockoff.com to find your local store. Whichever method you use, rinse everything thoroughly with clean water, ensuring that all the excess cleaner has been removed. Next, we're going to...
All right, he's got his rear hub, bottom bracket, jockey wheels, everything back there is wet, including your spoke nipples and your brakes and brake rotors. We've eliminated this step. You can only wash your bike when you need to, not when you need to just re-lube your chain.
Fully dry our drivetrain. Today we're going to completely dry before waxing. Any moisture could cool water and any last drops of moisture from the chain.
I did not know this, but they actually sell a blow dryer for you to blow dry your chain and cassette clean. They're just trying to make money off you every way they can. For a simple procedure, used to be 1 minute to lube your chain. You know, maybe use a little chain cleaner with some gasoline in it or something in the old days, which we don't recommend anymore at all. We've got safer ways to do it, and mine is the safest. Chain prep formula procedure is safer than everything you've seen so far.
Cassette and pulley wheels. It's important that the chain is completely dry before waxing. Any more.
So you saw that there. He's blow drying his cranks clean. You know, I'm telling you. Got to put it on Do Not Disturb. You get about 500 Temus a day. That was a unnecessary, an unforeseen thing from buying from Temu. Is they just bombard your phone.
Cassette and pulley wheels. It's important that the chain is completely dry before waxing. Any moisture could compromise the bond.
Okay, our product, if you did do a traditional clean, you could do a two small coat process with the chain lube itself, and the water won't affect the bond. The little bits of water left, our chain lube with the 3-headed brush will push it right out. You'll cycle it, and then you'll do another one, and then you're good to go. You don't need to buy a blow dryer for your bike. Okay, guys, that's the first.
Now, you might think that everything is completely clean, but a simple check is to take a clean microfiber cloth and backpedal the chain through it, just to ensure that there's no excess residue.
So, yeah, there's still talking about cleaning your chain almost 4 minutes into this video.
Still contamination inside the chain. If that's the case, simply repeat the cleaning process. Wax performs at its peak on a
Okay, so after you blow dried your bike, wipe the chain when it's dry. And if the stuff still comes off, do it all again.
Once everything's completely clean and dry, it's time to apply Dark Energy. Place your bike in a bike stand if you're able to. Shake the application. We're going to apply 1 drop to each link of the chain, starting at the quick link and working our way carefully around the...
All right, so this is all you got to do with mine straight out of the bottle. It's all you got to do once your chain is prepped, once you've done it a couple of times, once you've prepared your chain for our product, just whatever way you did it. You can even use the chain lube itself and do 2 or 3 short rides with it. We recommend the chain prep formula just to fast track it in 5-10 minutes. You're done. 10 minutes, you're done. And then you're on your way to never having to clean your bike again. Never have to clean your chain again or your drivetrain. So he's going to tell you here to do 1 drop of link and then wait 12 to 24 hours to dry. Guys, they took 4 years to develop this, they claim. 4 years ago is when I came out with Darkmatter. 4 years later, they come out with Dark Energy, and the best they can come up with in 4 years is wait 12 to 24 hours to ride your bike.
Entire length of the chain. We're then going to complete a second full rotation to ensure complete coverage. Avoid over application, as this can lead to build up consistent, even coverage.
Okay, it's building up because it is a wax emulsion. It's nothing new. It's just a bunch of the same stuff.
That's the key here. Slowly cycle through the gears. This will force the chain to articulate and allows the wax to penetrate and coat every surface evenly.
Because if it's an emulsion, it's mostly water, okay? And you've got this surface tension with anything that has water in it, so you have to push it in, just like we have to push ours in, which has no water added to the lubrication elements in the chain lube. There's no water added to ours. All wax emulsions are, by definition, 50% water to 75% water, some cases even more.
Inside the chain. It also allows you to lightly coat each cog on the cassette, leading to an even quieter and smoother drivetrain.
All right, so we've been pushing this for a long time. When I told the guys at Ceramic Speed at the booth, I just happened to find his business card the other day. This is from when he gave it to me at the Sea Otter show in 2019. And he told me to my face that we have found that coating the cassette doesn't do nothing for the performance. Well, that's not what I said now. You didn't pay attention. What I said was coating the cassette keeps dust from sticking to the cassette as well. That card was sitting next to one of my prototype SAG cards there. The red ones are the prototype ones.
If your bike is on the ground and you're not able to get it into a bike stand, simply cross-chain as much as possible and back pedal for around 10 revolutions. With cooler or humid conditions, we'd recommend 24 hours. This curing period allows the carrier to evaporate and the wax to form its durable dry film barrier on the chain. This is the
You can actually see there that it's mostly water in that evaporation video section there. Let me see if I can show that.
Oil-based lubes, we now need to allow the wax to cure for at least 12 hours. If you're in cooler or humid conditions, we'd recommend 24 hours. This curing period allows the carrier to evaporate and the wax to form its durable dry film barrier on the chain.
So you can see what you're left with is a paper-thin layer of wax when all that water evaporates away. They divulge that it's an emulsion here. Let me see where that is in the video. But all emulsions are mostly water.
It's low friction and wear protection. In terms of reapplication, once you hear the drivetrain becoming slightly noisier and you've been riding in clean, dry conditions, you can simply wipe down the chain with a clean microfiber cloth and reapply Dark Energy.
All right, so listen for the noise and reapply. Okay, that's what they're all saying now.
Dark Energy has been optimized for dry and damp conditions. If, however, you get caught out in heavy rain, we'd recommend cleaning everything down and reapplying to maintain max performance.
So it's still just for dry and slightly wet conditions. They use the word damp. Ours is good enough for all stream crossings all day long. It's good in rainy weather. It's only when you get into mud inundation that we recommend you doing an additional step of using Darkmatter or our Uber Clear. Okay, but our 5311 holds up just fine. Our Formula 1.2 for $14.99 holds up just fine. It's our Formula 1.2 and our original Lubin Schleiden Bike Park formula, which this looks a lot like it when it's dry. There's almost nothing on the chain to look at with our $12.99 Bike Park formula for 4 ounces, not 1.8 ounces for $18. This is where they're at still. After 4 years of trying to mimic my products and then now riding the coattails of the Darkmatter name that I've got out there, that, you know, got plenty of videos by Loam Wolf and Granny Gear and Old Kind of Bike. I've done a few videos on it, and you know, they're trying to conquer. Now when you go into the bike store and you ask for Darkmatter, they're going to say, oh, you mean dark energy? And that's their marketing tactic here, guys. It's really sad.
Is the result of 4 years of tribology, formulation chemistry, and real-world testing. The goal was simple: achieve efficiency, durability, and low wear, all in one drop of wax. With an extremely low coefficient of friction, minimal drivetrain wear, and up to 300 miles or 480 kilometers per application.
Up to 300 miles. I would like to see that in any real-world conditions. And he's showing a road bike here. So if you're commuting back and forth to work, I bet you could probably do that. I know that the Silka guys claim 10,000 miles on his commuter bike, but you know, you're not climbing uphill when you're riding to work. You're not even trying to break a sweat when you're trying to work. These are where these guys are getting these numbers, people. This is not what you do when you go on the bike for a typical bike ride that involves climbing and sweating and wearing bicycle clothes. If you're riding to and from work, yeah, you can get 10,000 miles on a product like theirs. You're not putting massive torque through your system, and you're not exposing it to much other than some rainwater once in a while on a road bike. You get this stuff on a mountain bike, there's no way it's going to hold up. And notice they didn't use a mountain bike in their product video here.
Dark Energy delivers race day efficiency with everyday durability across both road, gravel, and aMTBer. It runs quieter, shifts smoother. Following these simple steps will allow you to...
All right, well, that was it. And, oh, look what comes up after that. So this is the Granny Gear video here from about 3 years ago. It's a 12-minute video, and that's his 3-year review of my Smooth Lube product back in 2022. I think he did this video back then. And that's the first review that I ever had right there. 3 years of Smooth Lube 5311 use and 1.2. The link for that will be in the description. That just came up as a suggested video in the top left. You can see that. So if I'm getting this to my own videos, you know they're getting it to their videos, and they've seen my stuff, and they've been mimicking me this whole time. They still have not gotten around all the fundamental problems of chain maintenance. Now this next video I saved
for my chains, and
this guy from 4 years ago is talking about his chain maintenance for squirt. Now, this is probably something you're doing now if you don't do the crock pot thing and all that stuff. And I'll show you real quick. This is what we always did in the past. Tedious process. This is him getting the factory grease off.
little bit, and then I will let it sit overnight, and then I will re-wax it, and then it is going to be ready to go.
All right, you can see here, this sitting overnight goes way back with these products. They have still not gotten around this. Ours has a 10 to 15 minute dry time on these sorts of conditions you see here. 20 minutes to a half an hour if it's actually raining outside, that kind of weather.
Lasted about 3,000 miles, and that was...
So he got 3,000 miles on a road bike, probably not pedaling that hard, probably just doing regular casual rides for somebody like this. I don't get the sense that he's a hard training kind of guy from this, but you know, when I actually did training type riding with my road bike, I couldn't get more than 1,000 or 1,500 miles on this product.
Did in the gravel grinding and the cyclocross, so that was a pretty long life for that chain. And I think
now he doesn't divulge if he took out his drivetrain or not going that many miles. He says he races, so give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But, you know, I've yet to see a road bike chain with squirt last 3,000 miles when you're actually pushing a lot of watts through it, or if you're a larger, heavier rider, like a 200-pound rider that's fit, you're putting a massive amount of torque through. And this stuff just doesn't hold up. So that video was from 5 years ago, and it really is nothing spectacular.
Hey, it's Wayne. Welcome back to another video.
So here's where we go with this one. It's another how to use squirt thing. He's got 4 jars out there. He's got gasoline, degreaser, denatured alcohol, and water. Okay, now I used to do this 4 method as well, 4-step method, just to clean the chain between crockpot waxing. He's actually doing it for his squirt product, for the squirt drip lube.
And apply the squirt lube here. And the girl. So I ride 6 days a week. So I'm never going to have to worry about rust. Because
now, the reason you just said that is because if you do use squirt or other waxes, the rust can actually grow underneath these waxes. I want to point out that Squirt's newest drip wax does not have any new top off formula to go with it. They're using this same original formula as their top off formula, which I've seen squirt chains rust. I've seen other wax chains rust as far as drip lubes, and all crockpot waxes, most of them rust as well if you let them go.
if I ride 6 days a week and I'm putting, 40 and 60 miles on a day, I'm wiping it off and re-lubing it every other day, every third day.
So that's why he doesn't have to worry about rust. Otherwise, you have to worry about rust.
Clean it, install it, put it on, and apply on these. But what I'm going to do with this is just put...
Now here we go. He's going to show the chemicals. Okay, this is from 5 years ago. This is what everybody did before.
And some denatured alcohol in here, and then I'll use that toothbrush just to clean it off, just to make sure there's no cutting fluids or anything on it from when they manufactured it. Okay, the greaser I'm using is the environmental friendly clean the bike. Well, I got 2 of these because one's going to be the prep and then one will be the complete finish. So first thing I'm going to do, environmental friendly simple grain, and we got some high octane petrol here, some gas.
So gasoline, okay? So gasoline, degreaser, 2 alcohol rinses, and apparently he's not using water.
This is just regular gas. Pretty sure it's super unleaded too. And then degreaser, and then some denatured alcohol and denatured alcohol. I got 2 of these because one's going to be the prep and then one will be the complete finish.
All right, so that's the stuff I needed to get away from. That's why I developed my products. This gasoline degreaser alcohol method has been replaced by these on the bike degreasers that you wash off with a hose. That invites a whole nother level of problems to the rest of your bike by putting water on bearings and things for no reason, cables, cable housing, all these things. You can be as careful as you want, but you're still spraying your rear hub and your bottom bracket.
So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to...
I think there's enough of this bike. We've already seen what they do, and they've got massive amounts. So he's going to use soap too. So I guess he's going to wash the bike first and then do all that. Okay, enough of this video here. There's almost nothing going on here new. They've got a product that looks pretty similar in finish once it's dry to my Lubenschleiden original Bike Park formula in the black and white bottle for $12.99. This is still a water emulsion. It still requires a squeaky clean chain to use. It doesn't self-clean itself like ours does. It doesn't self-prepare itself like ours does. Our chain prep formula fast tracks that for you, but you don't even need that. You can just do a couple of short rides with any one of the products and it'll self-prep the chain. Just in our PDF download section on the website, you'll see how to prepare for wax, how to use wax. And these are the original techniques I came up with to make it super simple. I suggested doing 3 to 4 5 to 8 mile rides, just riding around the block a few times, putting more on, doing that here and there till you get most of the contaminants out of your chain from anything that was there before. Even a new chain, just using a Smooth Lube original formula to break down that packing grease and convert it into something that sheds away while you're riding. You still have plenty of lubrication while you're doing these short preparation rides. But I've gotten away from all that as well with the convert your drivetrain to a wax drivetrain in 10 minutes. There's the video. Ditch the crock pot, convert your drivetrain in 10 minutes. And then once you're done, it's just like putting on any other chain lube. The competition, with all their millions of dollars of marketing and development, 4 years working on something to ride the coattails of DÄRKMATTER, this is still the best they can do. Okay, I'm not worried for a second about them figuring out how to make my product at all. Just like Coca-Cola doesn't worry about anybody knocking off their product exactly 100%. Everything might look like Coca-Cola, it might have the same ingredients on the side of the can, but it doesn't taste like it. And I know now that I don't have to worry about it anymore. But what I need to do is put out these little social media videos often, because, you know, even McDonald's needs to put out commercials every day to keep their customers coming. Now, I'm trying to attract new customers. My existing customers, if you're using the product properly, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to find anything cheaper than this that does a better job than this. You're not going to find anything more expensive than this that does a better job than this. So I'm not worried about losing customers once I get ones that know how to use the product. I'm just putting this out to hopefully show new people getting curious about how to maintain their drivetrain this year without going through all that expense they went through last year. Or maybe you have a new bike and you want to try something different. You can't go wrong using our products. Now, if you're on a mountain bike, an analog mountain bike, or a road bike, or a gravel bike, you might want to try the 5311. This is our mountain bike, road bike race formula for $15.99 on our website still. And if you're an e-biker, you can get the DÄRKMATTER, okay? We recommend using the chain prep formula to set up each type of bike, but you don't really have to. And if you really want to get, if you're already doing crockpot wax and spending hundreds of dollars on wax and crockpots and stuff, you might want to try our Uber Clear in conjunction with the DÄRKMATTER. This, you'll find that after a few applications of DÄRKMATTER, you've got so many dark particles in there, you might want to just redo the clear. The Uber Clear here, the gold label, is designed for that. It's also a standalone formula, or you can use the 5311 that you bought for your pedal bikes as a top off for the DÄRKMATTER for every other ride or so. Here's the shop bottles of 5311 and the chain prep formula. If you're a bike shop, get one of these, set your customers up. They're going to be very happy customers with the cleanest chains they've ever had. Top 7 chain waxing mistakes to avoid. Well, mistake number 1 is if you're spending more than $30 to completely set up your bike for chain waxing, you're spending way too much. Okay, if you're going to buy a crock pot, they've got crock pots now from $100 to $250 to do this. If you're going to do that, just go to Walmart, get a $15 crock pot, set it on high for about 20 minutes, then put it to low. You won't overcook the wax. Chain waxing makes your bike's parts last longer, chain lasts longer, it doesn't take out your drivetrain. It happens fast when it happens. So one of my customers just told me he was using something inferior because he ran out of our stuff, and he went through that bottle and he took out his drivetrain. He was up to 3,000 miles on his e-bike and doing fine. And in the course of one bottle of something else he put on there, because he was just too busy to order our product and wait for it, he took out his drivetrain, and it cost him, I think, about $1,000 on his e-bike, brand new e-bike. First chain, took out the drivetrain. When he switched, he was at 3,000 miles with a lot of chain wear left to go, and he switched to something else. I forgot which one he said it was. He took out his drivetrain in the next 300 miles. He took it out. So that's what he told me. I'm better, I'm cheaper. Well, I'm cheaper and our product is the best. So lots of videos here telling you different methods to clean your chain. The one that I pointed out recently was this whole boiling your chain process. Now I've looked into this a little further, and I'll see if I can paste that on at the end here. But boiling your chain, the surface temperature down there at the bottom of the pan, the surface temperature at the bottom of the pan there is hundreds of degrees, and this is at the point where it's doing molecular structure. I'm going to have to put this on towards the end there, but I want to point out, just if you just Google heating metal causes damage, you're going to get something like this. Heating metal beyond its designed thermal limits causes damage by altering its microstructure, leading to reduced strength, brittleness, and distortion. Okay, that's the overview of it. I'm going to keep reading though. Okay, key types of damage include coarsening grains, phase transformations, oxidation, and cracking from thermal cycling. Proper heat treatment is required to reverse or mitigate these issues. Okay, key causes of damage due to heat. Structural changes. High heat causes grains to coarsen, making the metal more brittle and less strong. This is going to be happening more and more often. Deformation and distortion. As metal heats, it expands. Uneven heating causes warping, and if expansion is restrained, it can lead to plastic flow. Not sure what plastic flow is, but continuing. Reduced strength. Metal softens considerably at high temperatures. Well, that's not good. Oxidation and corrosion. Heat can increase reactivity. What have I been saying for, I don't know, maybe 10 podcasts ago I started talking about this. Causing oxidation, or in stainless steels, reducing chromium levels. So you're actually leaching out some of these metals that are put in there to prevent corrosion. Chromium is the ingredient that makes stainless steel stainless steel. It takes regular iron, and chromium is one of the ingredients that makes it stainless steel. There's many different levels of stainless steel. My chain rings are made out of the same stainless steel used in aircraft fighters, in military, United States military aircraft fighters. One of the best stainless steels out there. Anyway, continuing. Reducing chromium levels, which makes them vulnerable to weld decay, corrosion. Thermal fatigue. Repeated healing and cooling cycles can cause microfractures and fatigue failure. So, you know, these guys selling you this stuff, they may be facing major lawsuits down the road here, okay? You're not supposed to take off your chain to lube your chain. No chain manufacturer tells you to do that. No chain lube, traditional chain lube, tells you to do that either. We all cleaned our chains on the bike before, which is what I wanted to get back to, which is why I developed my product, because it was just too time consuming and I knew it was bad for the chain, all the chemicals and whatnot. So basically, I'll get into that in a minute. I hope I don't forget. Smooth Lube Original Formula, Chain Prep Formula, is the safest way to clean and maintain your chain and prepare your chain for our wax product, but you could do it to prepare the chain for other products as well. Let's get back to this. Temperature. Different metals such as steel, copper, aluminum have specific temperature thresholds for degradation. Okay, so, you know, there's a lot of different chains out in the market. They're all going to have different metal chemistries to them. And, you know, you're just doing backyard chemistry here without knowing what's going on. And, you know, most people don't break chains yet. But with the amount of chemicals involved and telling you to boil the chain, this is beyond the scopes of what a chain manufacturer has designed. Continuous long-term exposure to heat causes more significant damage than brief short-term exposure. Cooling rate. How quickly the metal cools can determine if the structural damage is permanent or fixable. Okay. Now, what temperature does heating metal cause damage? Here's what came up right off the bat. Heating metal causes damage such as loss of strength, hardness, and structural integrity at temperatures ranging from as low as 280 degrees Fahrenheit, 138 Celsius, for specific hardened industrial steels. okay? And that would be what we're talking about in a bicycle chain. So heating it in a pot of water on the stove, you have no idea what the temperature is at the bottom of that pan. Now, I've got a laser thermometer. It's not the greatest at measuring something like that, but I'll tell you this, it's above that, okay? It's above that on the outside. I can't get an accurate measurement through the water, but on the outside, it's well above that on the outside of the pan. All right, so at 280 degrees Fahrenheit to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm telling you, boiling your chain on the pan, you're right there to clean it. If you're doing that, stop it. Don't do that. Use our chain prep formula. It's so safe. It's so safe for your chain, and it never changes temperature, and it doesn't leave a bunch of byproducts for the environment, and you're not exposing yourself to anything very harmful at all. High-speed tool steels and specific wear-resistant steels can lose their hardened properties, tempering. So you're untempering the steel at 280 degrees 350 for these tool steels, which is what a chain is. Okay, I think that's enough of that. I think I've made my point. All right, I hope that was a bit enlightening to just, you know, in addition to all the stuff that's being promoted out there, a lot of the bike channels on YouTube are promoting this boiling thing. I just, you know, had to point that out. I've been holding that back for about a year, and I realized I could just Google it and show everybody without having to try to explain it in my own words. And yeah, it's all there. It's all very, very common knowledge in the world of metallurgy. So, you know, you can see here, our product, 4 ounces, $16.99. This new that's our Darkmatter, which is now to be intentionally to be confused with Dark Energy when you go into the bike shop. Just make sure you're asking for a mountain biker products. That's why I picked that easy name. Well, you can't forget that. You can forget Silka, and you can forget Cyclowax, and you can forget all these other names. But I thought, if you're a mountain biker, how could you forget that name? You can't forget it. So that's why it is what it is. So the Darkmatter came out 4 years ago, and now we have a top company with the biggest marketing budget in the world for chain lube coming up with their version to ride our coattails. And this product, by just looking at it, doesn't look any better than our Leubenschleiden original formula. Right here, this right here is what it looks like their product actually is. This has no water in it, 4 ounces, $12.99. Well, yesterday the site said 1.8 ounces. Now it's 1.7 ounces for $18. Okay, that's their Dark Energy. Right here, the original Leubenschleiden, $12.99. Not a water emulsion, 100% lubrication ingredients in here with an alcohol carrier. And the alcohol carrier does a couple things more than just evaporating away, and I'm not going to talk about it. All right, guys, that should cover it. So just to recap, I think what they've come up with doesn't exceed anything this product does. But if you're going to try something out for high mileage, do the 1.2 or the 5311 right here. It's all on Amazon as well. All you got to do is Google aMTBer products. You get our website, and you get our Amazon store right there, and our Instagram page. Here's the Amazon stuff. And you can see here at the top of the list on Amazon, we've got our SAG cards for 10 bucks. 5311 is $16.99 on Amazon. And we have Darkmatter for $19.99. We had to raise it there. And we have the Smooth Lube 1.2 still at $14.99. The chain prep formula is $12 on Amazon. Leubenschleiden is $12.99. Our chain rings, and then our Uber Clear, and some other stuff I used to sell when I was a distributor is still on my website, or still on my Amazon store. It's a lot of fun making these videos, a lot of fun doing this now for me. It wasn't at first, but I'm enjoying it. Here's our Instagram page, lots of things here to look at, and lots of links to the videos and reviews, and all of that will be in the description. Plenty of reviews here to look at. All right, Thanks for listening to my podcast, and hope you try the products. Have a great day, guys. This is a long one. Appreciate you sticking it out. Have a good one. Bye-bye.